Hello, magnificent human beings. My name is Landon with Yoga New Mexico, where we focus on empowerment, alignment, and strength. You are in the right place, capable and strong. What are we doing today? It is Full Class Friday. Yes. And we are going to do Dhanurasana. That is floor bow. I've also heard it called just bow pose. So it is a back bend, it is a heart opener, it is a look up-ener. So that is what we're going to do. This is a sequence that definitely incorporates that posture and highlights that pose towards more of the end of class, because I think it's good to kind of get that low back kind of, loose and awake before we dive into the back bend. So if you would like to do a full class 55 minutes, roll out your mat and I will roll the intro screen. Thank all of you so much for being here, finding ourselves seated on the mat. Hands wherever they're comfortable, legs can be in crisscross applesauce. Easy pose here, just chillin', shoulders roll back, spine lengthens. Close your eyes and just breathe. In through the nose and out through the nose. Allowing an intention to manifest for your practice, something gentle, something calming, something soothing, whatever you like. So really just focusing on that breath. Keeping your focus, keeping that stillness, your calmness. And sealing that intention. 3 cleansing breaths. In through your nose. Inhale, inhale, inhale. And exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Inhale, inhale. Fill your belly. Fill your lungs. Exhale out the mouth. And last time. Inhale through your nose. Big belly, big lungs. Shoulders roll back. Gentle sigh. Very good. Go ahead and swing those legs on around into that staff pose. Bob your knees, shake it out a little bit, putting a little bend in your knees, and inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hinging at your hips. Hands grab kind of down wherever they're comfortable in our seated forward bend, Paschimottanasana. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hinge. Remember, it's important to think about not lowering down, but rather lowering out. So kind of letting your heart lead, that eye gaze lead, that really helps. Coming on back. Okay, take your left heel, bring it on up into that inner thigh, into that groin, and squaring your shoulders with the front, lining that midline up with your foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lowering out for that Janu Shirshasana, seated forehead to knee. Keep with your breath, keep with that rhythm, always getting a sip of water anytime it calls to you. Staying here for a couple more breaths. And release. Go ahead and swap out. Next side. Bring that heel up and in, that foot towards that inner thigh here, allowing this knee to drop down, squaring up with the front. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Keep with your breath, keep with your focus. And here in our seated forehead to knee, it's funny because I think some of the names of the postures have inherent problems because seated forehead to knee, so bringing your head to your knee is really not accessible for a lot of people. For probably the majority of people who do this posture, it's not accessible. So we get these misnomers in our head that that's the most important part of the posture. So we're sitting here rounding our spine, bringing our head to our knee. But rather, it's just the name of the pose. The principles are to inhale, lengthen that spine, exhale, hinge from your hips, trying to keep that flat back as best as you can. And release. Come on back. Bring both feet on out. Wag it out. Shake it out. Swing your legs on around, coming into your tabletop. Fingertips spread wide. Wag it out. Shake it out. Move around. Waking up that spine just a little bit with some cat-cows. Inhale. Look up. Drop your belly. Eye gaze lifts. And exhale, cat, push the earth away from you. Inhale, look up, drop your belly, eye gaze lifts. And exhale, cat, push the earth away from you. Keep going, just a few more. Very good. Okay, take that left leg, that left foot, bring it up in between those hands, and bring your hands on up overhead for your Crescent Lunge on Dhanurasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften your shoulders. And this may be perfect for you right here. You may begin to feel that opening in that front part of your hip, but if you would like, you can always tilt your torso towards the back of the mat. Hands come to that prayer position. Right elbow, left knee. Slow, slow, slow twisting. Setting that elbow down on your knee. Eye gaze comes up. Just breathe. And come on back. Very good. Shake out your hands if you like. Place them down on the mat and tabletop. Kicking one leg back, kicking the opposite leg back, shaking it out. All right, next side. Take your right foot, place it in between those hands. Both hands come on up overhead. Breathe. Keep with your focus. Remember, if you want to amplify in this posture, then tilting that torso back. Hands come to that prayer position. Heart center, left elbow, right knee. Twist, 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 twist. Setting that elbow down on your knee. And slow, slow, slow. Come on back. Awesome job. Hands, set them down on the mat. Tabletop. Wag it out. Move around. Getting loose. Shaking out. Okay. Go ahead and tuck your toes. And then come on back into a gentle child's pose. Toes are tucked. Just kind of lowering your chest down. Walk your arms out. Taking a little bit of a part child's pose, part puppy pose here. Eye gaze forward, hands on the mat, fingertips pressing strong into the mat, and then go ahead and lift your glutes on up and relax your heels on down. Shake it out, move around. All right. Identify your left leg. Brief three-legged. Bring it all the way through. Place it on the mat. Hands up overhead. Crescent lunge. Breathe. Very good. Hands down on the mat. So that low back we will be getting into. So to kind of wake it up a little bit. Standing splits. That right leg lifts. Hold in your standing splits. Take a breath cycle. Set it on down. Shake it out. Move around. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Hands on the mat. Walking it back into that plank pose. And then, if you wish, you can lower down to your knees. Heels to your glutes for a modified plank. Lowering halfway out into your chaturanga. Push it back up. Lower all the way down. Raise on up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Getting that little flow in of our lunges and our sun salutations. Right leg, extend it into that three-legged. Then bring it through into your lunge. Hands come on up overhead. Crescent lunge. Breathe. Hands down on the mat. Left leg, standing splits, lifting that leg. Breathe. Setting it on down. Relax. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Come on down. Hands on the mat and downward facing dog. Weight shifts forward into your plank. Again, lowering onto your knees if you wish. You roll your shoulders back, eye gaze forward. You lower halfway out into chaturanga. Push it back up. Lower all the way down. Roll your shoulders back. Raise on up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Awesome work. Okay, walking hands to feet, feet to hands, forward fold. Relax. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold on down. Chin is the last to rise, coming all the way up. Hands up overhead, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, let it go. Relax. Shake it out, move around. All right, standing poses to get into that low back a little bit. So we want to bring our hands up overhead for crescent moon. Interlace your fingers, pointer fingers. Come on out. Roll your shoulders back. Heel toe those feet together if they are not already. Eye gaze just above the horizon. And inhale, lengthen, grow through that spine, hinging to the left. Exhale. So don't collapse into that left side, rather growing. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, hinging and tilting. Keep with it. Coming on back. Very good. Okay, next side. Inhale, lengthen, up. Exhale, hinging to the right this time. Breathe. Stay with it. And coming on back. Relax. Shake it out. Alrighty. Finding yourself in your tree pose, hands on your hips. Take that left ankle, kickstand it here. Allow this knee to open on up, opening up those hips from the front. That foot places on your calf. Or if you are able, then pressing that heel up into that inner thigh. So wherever you are, trying to bring that heel to your inner thigh. Don't set it on the knee joint. If you're flexible enough to bring your heel all the way up in between your pubic bone and your hip crease here, then I suggest actually keeping it here at that inner thigh, because we're focusing on that low back here in our flow today. So inhale, lengthen out of that low back. Exhale, relax your shoulders. And you may find this kind of unique thing where you're able to push that heel into that thigh, which almost kind of creates space in that low back, engaging that standing leg nice and strong. And relax. So maybe not even growing your branches today. I know that's kind of like the fun party part of tree, right? Like, woo, I'm in tree pose. But, it's sometimes nice to just focus on maybe more of the trunk of our tree rather than the branches sometimes. All right, so taking that foot and placing it on that inner calf here, and then bringing it on up. So we're doing the next side, trying to bring that right heel up as high as you can, hopefully having that heel pressed in at that inner thigh. So focusing on the trunk again. Remember, engage that inner thigh. Very good. And then that heel presses in, hands on your hips. Inhales help you lengthen. Finding your balance. And releasing. Shaking it on out. Very good. All right, so we did this in Monday's class, but we're going to do a very brief dancer's pose, or it's also called standing bow. There's a few names for this posture. So go ahead and take that left foot and kick it on back, grabbing on the inside of that ankle. So you rotate that arm outward, bicep should be pointed out, grabbing on the inside of that foot. And this is important because it really opens up that shoulder, opens up that pec, or pec minor kind of area as well. Right hand up overhead. And then if you're just kind of standing here, or maybe you have a strap around that foot, that's fine. Wherever it is for you is totally cool. Staying here, and then you kick into that back foot. Inhale, kick, create space. And on your exhales, hinging on down. And come on back, release, relax. Not staying in that pose too long. It's a pretty intense back bend, so just kind of want to wake up these areas. Chin into chest, roll on down, rolling, rolling, rolling. Relax. Forward fold, just hang. Inhale into half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold on down. Chin is the last to rise, coming all the way up. Shaking it out, move around. Very good. All right, so next side, we take that right foot, right hand, swing it on back. Holding here. Breathe, eye gaze steady, focused in front of you. Left hand comes on up overhead. And focusing on your breath. Kick into that backhand. Standing bow pulling. You've got it. Lowering on down as much as you like. Kicking into that backhand. Setting everything on down. Shake it out. Chin in your chest. Roll. Come on down. Relax. Forward fold. Just hang. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, relax. Okay, hands on the mat and step back into downward facing dog. Lower your knees down to the mat. Untuck your toes. Sitting back on your heels, doing a brief camel and rabbit to invite that back bend, forward fold kind of counter movement into our practice even more. Coming up onto your knees, separating your knees about hips distance. Hands on your hips here, and you can bring your hands to your low back, roll your shoulders back. If you can bring your hands all the way down and you're comfortable doing that, then that's fine. But really focusing on kind of that inhale, heart open, exhale, hinge back. Really creating space in your camel. And again, you don't need to go far, or if you want to come far, that's totally fine as well. Inhale, create space. Exhale, hinge back. Inhale, create space. Exhale, hinge on back. Keep with it. Come on back. Bring your knees together. Sitting on down. Counteracting that back bend with our forward fold. Well, it's rabbit, but we get a lot of nice expansion in that spine. Hands grab back for those feet, for those heels. Chin into your chest, and then rounding on down, seeking to bring the top part of your forehead to the top part of your knees here. If you wish, you can always lift those glutes up off of your heels. And relaxing, coming on back from your rabbit. From here, go ahead and walk out your hands. Downward facing dog. Bring it on back. Walk it out. Pedal it out. Getting loose. Taking your left knee, bring it all the way up on the inside of that left wrist. Untuck your toes. Getting set up for your pigeon. Getting set up however you want in your pigeon. We won't be here for too long. We want to kind of keep things moving just a little bit because we're going to spend some time in our bow pose and other postures to kind of help with that pose. So relaxing, coming on down. Remember, breath, very important. Inhales create space, of which your exhales allow you to dissolve into. Keep with it. Very slowly coming on back. Excellent work. All right. those toes behind you, and as slow as you wish, come back into downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Maybe drawing figure eights with each one of your legs to kind of wake them up a little bit. Right knee, bring it all the way up inside of that right wrist. Set it on down. Okay. Getting square, getting set up nice and cozy for your pigeon Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Coming on down, relax. Again, we won't be here for too long, so really just enjoying those breaths. Closing your eyes and always knowing that that breath creates space. Exhales helps to kind of get rid of anything we don't need anymore. Just finding some peace, some mellowness here next to the mat. Thinking about that intention, allowing things to just be. Slowly, slowly, slowly coming back up from your pigeon, and tuck your back toes. Downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Walk it out. Weight shifts forward into that plank and lower all the way down to the mat. Bring your hands around behind you. Just relax. Few breaths. Okay. Very good. Time for our first bow pose. So we're going to do 3 sets of our bow posture with kind of a counter pose in between each one. And remember, in our bow posture, if you watched Wednesday's episode, the educational piece specifically on Dhanurasana, then you know we need to kind of avoid that rocking, but rather it's an equal kicking of our legs and pulling with our arms that we're seeking to achieve. So if you need a strap to reach back to grab for those feet, go ahead, whatever is good for you. And unless you're very advanced, keep your hands on the outside. Maybe want to refrain from keeping your hands on the inside of those feet here, because it can be kind of weird on our knee joints if we do so. All right, hands on the outside. Roll your shoulders back. Eye gaze forward. Very gently on your inhales, you kick and you pull, lifting up. And notice how I'm raising up nice and gently. Using my arm strength, using that leg strength as equally as I can. And setting it on down, relax. Placing your palms beside you, bringing your legs and your feet together, pushing it all the way back into child's pose. Relax. So a little bit of a back bend and a heart opener in our bow pose, and then kind of counteracting that here with this simple child's pose. Relax. Go ahead and shift your weight all the way back forward, coming down into just simply laying on the mat in preparation for our bow pose once more. Okay, bend your knees, hands grab back for your feet once more. Roll your shoulders back, eye gaze up, and remember, gentle rhythm as you lift up. Not rocking, just seeking to grow ever higher. So, inhale, kick and pull. Exhale, soften. Inhale, kick and pull. Exhale, soften a little. Keep going. And relaxing on down. Bring those legs together, palms here by your side. Push all the way back, sitting on those heels. Rabbit pose once more. Chin into chest, forehead, top of your knees. Relax. And you can lift your hips off, you cannot. Whatever you wish is fine. Just finding that breath, finding some space in your spine. Eye gaze forward and coming all the way back to laying on your mat for that base of your bow pose. Palms beside you, relax. Go ahead and bend your knees and windshield wiper your legs back and forth, adding some space. Hands grab back for those feet. Very good. Okay, eye gaze forward and going as far as you wish. So, inhale, kick and pull. Raising up as high as you wish. And setting it on down. Relax. Palms by your side. And push all the way back. Feet, legs, knees are together. Relaxing into that child's pose. Maybe this time bringing your arms down along beside you here, however you wish. Forehead relaxes. Just breathe. Slow, slow, slow. Push on. Back up. Very good. Go ahead and walk your hands all the way out, laying back down on the mat, relaxing on your belly, but always getting a sip of water anytime you like. Propping yourself up on your forearms for just a brief Sphinx Pose. Eye gaze forward. We won't be in our Sphinx Pose for too long. Going to come into a little bit of a half frog. So take a look back at that left knee. Bring it on up and out. And think 90-degree angles. So 90-degree angle at your hip, at your knee, at your ankle. And lower on down. Relax. So Some of us may feel this right away in our hip, and others you'll have to journey through that breath to really find it. And so what I mean by that is closing your eyes and noticing how on your inhales you can direct them way down into your hip. And I understand that you don't have lungs in your hip, but there's a gentle rhythm that happens in your body when you do inhale. It does move things around just gently. So finding that rhythm, just breathing, sending your breath even, in your mind's eye down to that hip area, and just keep with it. About 3, maybe 4 more breaths. Okay, leaving your leg exactly where it is, propping yourself up. So a little bit of a weird transition here, but trust me, it works. So first of all, make sure your left leg is still exactly where it is. Take your right hand, thread it underneath that left armpit. So thread it through, walk it out, farther, and then this entire left arm, bring it all the way back, so far back that that shoulder touches down. So we're coming into that spinal twist. Opening things up, breathing. So great pose here, kind of a twist to help relieve any of that tension that may have built up while doing those 3 sets of our Dhanurasana, our bow pose. Just breathe, just relax. Slowly untwisting and coming back into that Sphinx pose. Both legs extended towards the back of the mat. Eye gaze forward. Brief Sphinx pose. Just take a breath. Very good. Okay, opposite side. So right knee, bring it on up. And remember, 90-degree angles in your hip, your knee, your ankle, and just laying on down. Remember journeying through that breath to find that space in your hip. Staying with it. Two or 3 more breaths, really just creating space as best as you can. And I think often in our practice, we tend to kind of forget about, how much we can breathe, how much oxygen we can bring into, our lungs with every breath. So taking some really deep breaths here. Leaving that right leg exactly where it is, propping yourself up on your forearms. Okay, left hand, thread it underneath that right armpit. So threading it through, walking it out as far as you can, and then go ahead and release this whole right arm, bringing it on back for that spinal twist. until your shoulder drops down, or at least comes pretty close to the mat. Just breathe. Just relax, taking your time. Very slowly as you like, bringing those forearms back onto the mat. You can extend your legs on back, Sphinx Pose. And from your Sphinx Pose, you can lay either on your left or your right side, just coming into the fetal position, bringing your knees on up into your chest, and relax. That ear on your bicep, just breathe. Hugging those knees in, 3, maybe 4 more breaths. Just making this transition into our Shavasana gently, staying here for a moment. In your own time, slowly, calm, rolling onto your back for your Shavasana. Legs fall out, feet fall out. Everything calm and relaxed. How is your intention that you set at the beginning of class? Excellent job. Bringing things together with a happy baby. So go ahead and bend your knees on up. And hands grab for the outside edges of those feet. And if you can't quite grab for the outside edges of your feet and still leave your low back on the mat, then grabbing for maybe the middle of your shins is a better option for you. You could even actually grab underneath your knees here. So kind of depends on wherever you are. And even if you can grab onto your feet, maybe trying to grab onto those shins and see if it changes things for you. Switching up the grasp a little bit. You know, this is your practice, so you can do as you please. You can rock back and forth in your happy baby if you wish. You can just stay stationary, thinking about what that bind does for you, and really bringing those hips open even more. And setting your feet down on the mat, knees still bent. And tick-tocking your knees back and forth just a little bit. Go ahead and identify your left ankle and stack it on top of that right knee. Then, threading the needle, left hand comes through and grabs underneath that knee, or you can grab on top of your shin, whichever one you wish. Keeping this left ankle nice and flexed here. And if you wish, you can maybe even use that elbow to press that leg away from you, opening up that hip even more. Our thread the needle pose, our modified pigeon pose. There's kind of a few names for this posture. Just breathe. Okay, leaving your legs exactly where they are. And I know this transition is kind of weird, but just go with it. So, leaving your legs exactly where you are, bring your hands into those cactus arms. Your left shin, bring it so it's parallel with the ceiling, so bringing it on up. Now, this next part, the most difficult part, is not bending your right knee. So keep this perfect 90-degree angle in your knee. And what we want to do is the outside edge of your right leg over here, you want to twist and lower it down to the mat. So you're twisting in that low back to lower this edge of your leg down to the side here. But remember, don't bend your knee. So as we come down, we have a tendency to kind of do this. Still keep this knee up nice and high, and very slowly dropping this down all the way. So you keep these nice 90-degree angles. Kind of pretzel-y posture here, I know, but this is going to feel really good kind of through our glute here and, through our low back. And there's kind of a misnomer to pull your knee in. We don't want to pull our knee in. Instead, place your hand kind of on that knee or just above your knee here and very gently push it away. So you can push it with your right hand, you can push it with your left hand, whichever one you wish, but you'll start to feel this kind of in that low back area. Keep with your breath. For some folks, they'll feel this, right away, and others, you kind of have to mess with it a little bit. This is kind of like a modified fire log pose because we're just isolating one side. Okay. Now you're kind of twisted up here. So, as ungracefully as you wish, coming back into Shavasana. Shavasana, bob your knees, wag your feet out. Very good. Okay, bending your knees and right ankle stacks on top of left knee. So not like right on top of the knee, but rather kind of like this top meaty portion here of your knee. And take that right hand, threading it on through. You can grab at the top of your shin or underneath your knee, whichever one you want. Just breathe. Again, if you want to use that elbow to push that leg away from you, you can. Finding some space through your breath. How's that intention? Slow, soft, steady. All right. Release your hands and leave your legs exactly where they are. Left shin, bring it up parallel with the ceiling. Now remember, as you twist and bring those legs on down, do not bend your left knee. You want to keep that knee kind of as high as you can. So keep that knee high, and then don't bend your knee either. Twisting, lowering all of your legs down here to the side. And maybe it's good to kind of hold your bottom knee here sometimes to pick it up, bring it up a little bit higher if you wish. Right hand on that leg, pushing it away from you gently. Breath, very important. Staying with it, staying focused. Think about your intention. About 6 or 7 breaths here, just breathing into it, staying present. All right, I know we're pretty twisted up, so very slowly, as you wish, untwisting and coming back into that Shavasana, nice and slow. It doesn't have to look pretty after all those intense twists. Just laying here, relaxing. Just breathe. Being fully aware of that breath. Welcome to your final Shavasana, and if you would like to do one more posture, that's totally fine. You have enough time for another posture before the hour is up. Well, technically the 55 minutes is up, but just breathe, soften, relax. Full, calm, gentle breaths. Being present, being still, nowhere to go, nowhere to be. Plenty of time here in your Shavasana. Just relax. Staying here in your Shavasana if you wish, but if you like, wiggling those toes, wiggling your fingertips, inviting some life back into that body. Remaining here in your Shavasana, or if you would like, slowly pushing yourself on up into that seated position. Beautiful, awesome practice. Thank all of you so much for being here, coming along this journey with me. If you have not subscribed, please do so. I would greatly appreciate. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of the class. Thank all of you so much from my heart to all of yours. You are amazing, beautiful, brilliant, strong, capable human beings. Namaste.